Yeah, so we've always thought that the clearest element of the entire setup around this litigation is that the president has plenty of alternative authorities that he can use to get these tariffs in place. We've always thought 122, you can get a 15% floor back in place for 150 days right away. You can bridge that into either 301, which is kind of slower and more cumbersome, or 338, which has never really been used, but lets you go up to 15% or 50% after 30 days. And Alito brought up that 338 argument during the hearing. Essentially, you could have done essentially all of this under another authority that's it's better grounded. So maybe that means we shouldn't strike it.
My amateur take here, and this is with the excellence of our Bloomberg legal team helping me out. Paul mentions June Grasso, Greg Storr, and the rest. My answer is the Supreme Court wants to find a middle ground. Is there a middle ground in this litigation?
Yeah, I think there could be. So, I mean, one popular theory has been that they're going to distinguish between the different tranches of IEEPA tariffs. Fentanyl's legit. The trade deficit's not a real emergency. I don't think that's going to happen. But they absolutely could say, these tariffs were done unlawfully, but here are these other authorities that you could have used to do them. And so we're going to, sort of say you need to sort of cure the legal defects going forward, but we're not really going to strike them down. Or even if they do strike them down prospectively, they could say they're not going to be refunded because it's too much chaos, quote unquote, a mess, as Justice Barrett brought up during the hearing yesterday. So I do think that they're looking for a middle ground beyond sweeping rejection of these tariffs, and they might be able to find one.
Tobin, is the Supreme Court looking strictly at President Trump's tariff policies or more broadly on his use of executive power here?
So I very much think this is focused on IEEPA. They're not going to think about anything that goes beyond IEEPA, but he has used IEEPA for some stuff beyond just the flat country level tariffs. One that's come up a lot that certainly the transport space cares about is the closure of the de minimis treatment for small parcels, that longstanding tariff exemption. That was gotten rid of through IEEPA in a separate order, not directly at issue in this case. It's then also was gotten rid of in the big beautiful bill, but that doesn't kick in until 2027. So TBD whether or not that will get struck down. As with the tariffs, he has alternative ways of recreating that through rulemaking, but they would be more cumbersome.
Tobin, when should we expect a ruling from the Supreme Court here?
I would guess by end of year. Supreme Court timing is always very opaque, but I think everyone involved in this, both parties, or all three sets of parties really, and the justices have an interest in getting this done sooner rather than later. The longer it festers, the bigger the refund bill gets, the more pressure there is on everyone. So I do think that they're going to try and move as quickly as they can.
Tobin Marcus with us. He's head of U.S. Public Policy, Wolfe Research. Tobin, pull the curtain back. It sounds like the end of Wizard of Oz.
Sure.
When they pull the curtain back and Toto saves the day. Tobin, pull the curtain back. Be the Toto at the Supreme Court. Like, what happens now? Do their clerks get together because they don't want to talk to each other, or is this all decided over a cheeseburger in the cafeteria? What's the process to get to where Paul wants to be?
So they will have some meetings. They'll kick memos around. I think that this is a case where, Roberts, as kind of the politician within the court, I think is going to be trying to figure out if he can cobble together a coalition for something that feels satisfying to him, that both protects the court's political standing as an institution and delivers a kind of a balanced substantive outcome that feels defensible to him. I think broadly you have Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh all looking pretty solid for it. The liberals looking pretty solid against it, and the remaining three in the middle. So, I think that we're going to see Kavanaugh trying to get his colleagues on board. That we're going to see Roberts talking to
Gorsuch. But I don't mean to interrupt, but this is brilliant, Tobin. How does Kavanaugh, who is folks within the belief structure here is tilting Trump, how does he persuade Gorsuch, who surprised everyone? What do? Do they go watch Ovechkin and the Nationals play? I mean, how do they actually try to persuade each other? In a meeting?
Yeah, I think it mostly happens within the building. I don't know that these guys are so eager to be socializing with each other outside of Judiciary Square.
That's okay. Well, I don't socialize with Nathan Hager, so it's okay. Continue.
Look, I think there will be some verbal conversations. There will be some draft opinions put together that they sort of try and get their colleagues on board with as they actually lay out their legal reasoning on paper. It's a little bit of an emergent process. There's no one roadmap.